Hey guys, hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Tamara Beckford with Your Caring Docs. That's right, where we help our busy professional women put their health and wellness first for at least 2 hours a month. That's right, 730 hours in a month. You can dedicate two to yourself, right? We also have our wonderful podcast. Yes, and we have our great conversations with doctors from all over the world who stop by here. And that's what we're going to have today. So, our doc today is a very special doc to me. I've known her for over a year. We finally met in person a couple weeks ago. She is one of the sweetest, and she's a fierce doc. I love her. Alrighty, so I'm going to introduce her in our Your Karen Docs fashion, right? So this doc is a graduate of Guwahati Medical College. So all our Guwahati people, hello, hello. Yes, one of your sisters here. And she did her residency at Jackson Memorial Hospital in pediatrics. So Miami, hello, Miami. Yes. But with all my docs, right? They don't stop there. They do additional training because they want to help more people. So she did one additional year in pediatric gastroenterology in University of Colorado. And she's also going to tell you about all the additional training that she's done in order to help her people as a founder and CEO at WonderKidz Pediatrics, right? So WonderKidz Pediatric is laying the foundations of happy and healthy future by helping them doing it one step at a time, right? So welcome, 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 everyone. Dr. Violina Bhattacharyya. Woo! Dr. Bhattacharyya, how are you?
I'm good and I'm so excited to be here.
Me
And
too. Me
thanks for the
too.
warm welcome.
Oh, anything for you, sis. Anything for you. So, you know, as with everything, before we get into Wonder Kids, which I think is wonderful, I want to start off by having everyone get to know you like I do, right? So tell us, what brought you into medicine?
Oh, that's a long story. You go back in time
Yes,
and
right? Digging in the crates, like what's going
yeah.
How
And
did
then,
this happen?
over the years, I've heard so many people talk, I had this so and so person in my life and I
Mhm.
had looked up to, and I always wanted to be like him. I didn't have that. My story is different now.
Ah,
So yeah, it was my early life experiences actually that framed me into the person that I eventually went on to become. And as a
mhm.
pediatrician, it's such eye-opening. I'm like, aha, that's what it is. That's how a child becomes the person that they become eventually.
Right.
So yeah, I was the eldest of five kids. So
Mhm.
and so you automatically I stepped into a caregiver role because my siblings are younger than me and needed help. And
Exactly.
my mom had severe asthma.
Ah.
So, yeah, she needed help. So, I definitely was a caregiver at that time, helping my
Mhm.
mom medically and at home.
Mm.
So, that role automatically was like I was becoming the person that I eventually would be. So,
Wow.
yes.
Wow. So, starting off as a caregiver yourself at a young age, you saw this framework, right? And then you kind of went towards it. You're like, essentially, you were doing things that right now you're also doing as a doctor, but you were a
Mhm.
child. And like you said, it's interesting because you're a pediatrician. So it
Yeah.
comes full circle. You're watching and you're seeing other kids like, this is how it happens, right? I'm seeing it right in front of my eyes. So that I've experienced it and I'm also seeing it. So as we talked about, you are a pediatrician and a pediatrician extraordinaire too. Very, very wonderful, doc. So what made you decide out of all the specialties out there, I want to do pediatrics?
My personality again.
Ah!
Yeah, I was meant to be. When I look back, everything is like an introspect when you look and dive deep. And,
Mhm.
like we pediatricians are a special kind, right?
Yes, you guys
Our
are.
clients,
You're the sweetest of all the dogs. You're like the kindest of all the people.
yeah,
Someone says pediatricians rock. Yes, you guys, you absolutely
we
do.
do. Because our clients don't tell us what they're feeling, what they're thinking. Most of them,
Hmm.
I mean, the adolescents too. But then even when they do, it's a different story. You still have to understand, you have to still see the fine print and listen between the lines. So,
Absolutely.
and the little kids, you just look at them and they look at you and our story begins. You know,
Yes,
you're like,
that's
and
true. That is wonderful. And, you know, I see some pediatrics in emergency medicine, and I give a shout out to all my pediatricians because I'm looking like, okay, so tell me what's going on. And they're like, just either a smile or a frown. And you're like, okay. Someone says, yes, that's what made me become one too. So if the pediatricians out there are loving you, and yes, you guys are absolutely like one of the sweetest of all the specialties. So how much do you love pediatrics? Like, tell us.
oh my God, I wouldn't even look back. Like when I look back, I wouldn't even change it for anything in the world. You know, like when you're at work, you're having fun. You know, the
Mhm.
things that kids tell you, the all the candy things like that. You're like, oh my God, this is why I do love what I do. You know, like I had one, like one of us. I went into the room and I had a kid who was like, "Are you the princess in Aladdin?" Oh my
Oh,
God,
oh my goodness.
it's so innocent, like they appreciate you for everything. That's,
Absolutely.
yeah. And while I was telling you what made me decide about my personality, I wanted
Mhm.
to share a little funny story that I had during my intern year, not intern, actually, I did a pediatric rotation in medical school. So I
Mhm.
had this friend of mine, and we were trying to take the blood pressure of a little kid. I can't remember the age, it was around like 5 or 6 year old. And he saw the
Mhm.
blood pressure machine and he freaked out. Just the
Oh.
blood pressure. He was like, I'm not going to have anything done with me with that thing. He was like screaming and shouting and crying and howling, you name it. And we had to like spend half an hour trying to convince him that he's not going to get hurt. We are trying to help him. And it was a lot of talking, like half an hour of
Mhm.
talking. And then we finally got to do what we wanted to do, like take the blood pressure in 2 minutes, half an hour of talking and 2 minutes of actual work. And we got it done. And then my friend was like, okay, I can do this. And she went into internal medicine and I went into pediatrics.
Oh, even with all of that, you stuck it out.
Yes, no, I was like, no, I can do this. I know I can
Oh,
do this. This is what I do. Like, this is what my life is going to be. I want to convince little people.
yes, yes. And I mean, it takes a lot because you're right, they're honest. If they don't like you, they're going to tell you, I don't like you. If they think you're a princess, they're going to say, you're a princess, or are you that superhero I saw? And,
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't want to be considered a superhero or princess or the queen? I mean, and then they draw the best pictures. Now, the pictures might not look like you, but in their mind, it is the best pictures. And then you have to put it up in your office. Absolutely. So, all right. So now, we're here, we're pediatrics, and then you've been working for a while, but then you've decided that I want to open up my own space, right? And I love the name Wonder Kids Pediatrics. So tell us, how did that come about?
Yeah, first I would like the name. I love it too, like kids, because I thought of that was the first thing. I didn't even have to think a lot to pick a name of a practice that I wanted to build,
Mhm.
because kids are amazing, right? They're wonderful. They're
Absolutely.
wonder kids. I had like superhero pediatrics, wonder kids pediatrics, and
Mhm.
wonder kids was not taken. And I'm like, yeah, this is what it is. Kids are wonderful. They are one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they are amazing. They change the world. They want make us do what we do every day. Our as parents, as caregivers, they are the
Mhm.
ones. We think we are the driving force, but actually it is them. We do.
That's so
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
That is so true. Wow. What
The
a
world.
perspective.
Yeah, it's them. So they are the wonders of this world. So that's how Wonder Kids started. But that was a name. But the main reason, there was like two big things which
Mhm.
actually made me want to create a space where I can like do practice medicine the way I wanted to. The
Mhm.
first was it has been going on for like this thought has been going on for about like 3 years now. It
Mhm.
was the changing healthcare field, right? The landscape of the healthcare system. that's changing so much, and so
Mm-hmm.
like has led to so much dissatisfaction everywhere. Like
Mm-hmm.
patients are dissatisfied, doctors are dissatisfied. Like we went into medicine as a calling to
Yes.
begin with. We wanted to care, we wanted to do changes, like have changes, like create, do things like that would make changes in this whole world, but we weren't doing that. We were actually just on an automated mode, like we realized at some
Wow.
point. And that was how, because of the way the healthcare industry became an industry from a healthcare setting, like in a healthcare, it became something, it's a corporate thing now. So
Mm-hmm.
you like look back, sit back, and like you think, what am I doing? Like, am I really doing what I want to do? Like, am I making changes in this world? No, like you hear doctors getting burnt out, and you hear
Yes.
doctors retiring early, doctors giving up medicine altogether.
Yes.
So yeah, you're like, it doesn't have to be that way. We can take control in our hands. We can do changes. Like we have done big things, like
Mm-hmm.
we have done difficult things. We have come all the way, and we can be our CEOs. We can create healthcare spaces that's the way it should be. Like, who knows medicine better than a doctor, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
we can
Yes.
ask people to help us, but we are the ones who actually know how it should be done. I mean, not doctors, nurses, and healthcare people, to be fair, like people who work in the healthcare industry.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That was my first big reason why I went ahead and took the leap and started my practice, which has started, like it's physically not open, but I've already
Mm-hmm.
started doing my work of spreading the message, educating people, and like helping people take charge of their own health. So Wonder Kids is here to stay.
Yes, Wonder Kids, wonderful. Alrighty, so one of the things that you have as your tagline of Wonder Kids, right? You said you're laying the foundation of happy and healthy future, right? One step at a time.
Mhm,
And when we're really in this setting, so one of the things, of course, this pandemic is still here and it's
mhm,
causing a lot of stress on families. But a lot of us were thinking about, oh, the adults, oh, they're stressed out, they're anxious. But a lot of people are not really thinking about the kids. And you
mhm,
said that there's such a huge change in the landscape for the children at this time that
mhm.
you've even gone and gotten additional training to help them. So let's tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that was my second why I
Mm-hmm.
started that. That was like the biggest accelerator. I was thinking, it's been 3 years. I was thinking I need to start a practice. I need to do like what I want to do and do the changes that I want to do. But the pandemic came, things like changed drastically. It was like everything changed, and then I was like, yeah, no, this is the time that I need to
Mm-hmm.
make a move. So that was my second reason why I started the pandemic. I mean, started the
The
practice.
practice,
Yeah,
yes.
was and because so children, they are our real heroes.
Mm-hmm.
They start we they are our unsung heroes. Actually, we have praised healthcare providers, rightfully so. Like we healthcare providers like faced the pandemic. We did a lot, like with taking risks in our own hands,
Right.
taking a lot of risk, but nobody thought about the children. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, they did, like they went home, they stayed home, not because of like just for them. They wanted to protect the vulnerable elders in the community, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did, like that was a big service they did for us. And then,
Absolutely.
yeah, they stayed home, they went online school, and that was not how it was meant to be, right? Our brains have been tuned to develop in a different way. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
tuned to like be like listen, like watch videos and learn from school, like online schools, and then grow as a child. That's now, it might change in the future, right? Everything changes. Change is the only thing that's constant, but
That's
that's
true.
not what it was right now. So when they did come back, they stayed home, they did their part, and then we adults got our vaccines first. We went
Mm-hmm.
out, but they still stayed home. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's not fair for them. Thankfully, now they have their vaccines. So they came to us after staying home, like when we eventually started seeing them. Like we
Mm-hmm.
saw so many negative effects of just staying home. Like
Wow.
every single kid, I would say almost every single kid gained weight. Like
Mm-hmm.
obesity has been an epidemic even before the pandemic, and it got worse. And it's true,
Mm-hmm.
every single pediatrician will agree to that every single child they saw who stayed home gained weight. And
Mm-hmm.
then what else happened? Like the last year in October, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, and the Children's Hospital Association, all three of them came together and declared a state of national emergency for mental health, child mental health.
Yes.
So, like it took a big toll on our kids.
Wow. What are some of the things that they're seeing in the mental health space in regards to the children?
So a lot of our kids, like when little kids, you can't make out. Like you can, they would like be, they would not listen. They
Mm-hmm.
would be aggressive, or they would not like they're crying, having more tantrums,
Mm-hmm.
and not doing well at school. They stay at home. The parents are having a hard time, like doing the work because now when during the pandemic, everyone stayed home. And now
Mm-hmm.
imagine a child who actually needs to go out, run
Yeah.
outside in like
Wow.
they're staying home within the constraints of the home, and their behaviors changed. So the
Mm-hmm.
little one's behavior changed that you couldn't put a finger to, like, what exactly is this? Is this
Right.
into diagnosis, or this is just staying home during the pandemic? So,
Right, right. Is it just that, okay, is it that you needed to go outside? Is it stress? Like,
yeah,
the stressors from the parents, the children are, they're very sensitive to the environment around them. And if they're extremely young, they might not know how to express
well said.
what
Yeah.
they're feeling, right? And so a tantrum might be one way. Are they expressing anxiety? Are they
Mhm.
expressing depression? It's not just negative behavior, right? It's an
Mhm.
emotion that they're unable to quantify and to really decide what's going on.
Yeah.
How do I express how I'm feeling? Then, like you said, the emotions are tangled at that point,
Mhm.
and there's so much. And what I think is fascinating is that not only did you recognize this, but because of this and because your practice, Wonder Kids Peds, you want to ensure that you're able to take care of not just the kids, but the family overall and have a
Mhm.
strong family
Mhm.
unit. You went ahead and got additional trainings.
Mhm.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so when we started seeing that, I talked about the kids and the adolescents. The adolescents could actually tell you they're having anxiety, they're having suicidal thoughts, which, like, this is true. Like, everybody has seen that. All that,
Mm-hmm.
because of that, we had to step up. The primary care pediatrician had to step up because psychiatrist was getting overloaded, therapists were getting overloaded, and
Mm-hmm.
somebody had to, like, take care of kids. And not everyone needed a mental health specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So we were the ones facing them and talking to them. And so I went ahead and took additional training with the Reach Institute, it's called, so to take help kids with anxiety and depression and
Mm-hmm.
ADHD. So then with all that training, now I'm ready with to start. So when I start my practice, it's going to be not just a traditional pediatric practice, but pediatric practice with behavioral health integration, so that
Mm-hmm.
I can help kids. Like I can have a setup where we take care of kids in the front lines, like the first when we meet them as a PCP. What are the tools we can give parents to
Right.
help them at home? So that things can be much better. It doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to go home and pull hair because your kid is not listening to you. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe things that we didn't think about. There are certain, like, in a different perspective. So
Mm-hmm.
you use those tools and then you see how things work. It might not be that bad at all after all. You know.
Wonderful. So your practice is going to equip not just the parents. We're not just going to take care of the kids. And yes, you get all your traditional pediatric you know, services. But in addition, you're going to add the behavioral health integration portion where you're able to help the parents to help the kids.
Yes.
And in turn, have a great family unit. Wonderful, wonderful. We're saying that, there's a lot of stress going on. There are a lot of people under stress.
Mhm.
It's just, if there's anything that the pandemic has taught us, is that stress levels are getting higher, right? But there are a lot of people who are trying to navigate their way through that. So, what are you doing for stress relief yourself?
Oh, yeah. Good question. So my biggest stress reliever is I work out 2 times a week. I don't, like, no matter what, I'll still work out. And I can tell you from my own experience,
Mm-hmm.
it's helped so much. The days like I'm just like, as a doctor and a mom, and with all starting a new practice,
Mm-hmm.
you have like 10 thousands of things going on in your head. You can
Absolutely.
relax, and and you work out, and it just dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Or
and
just organizes itself.
yeah, and I can tell like whoever is watching this, and I
Mm-hmm.
would definitely try out self-care, like working out, meditation, you name it,
Mm-hmm.
but taking care of like trying to heal your body by just taking a few hours every day, or I do twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
So even that's enough for me to like get my mind straight and recharge and get again go to what I need to do. Like if
Wonderful.
so that
Wonderful. So exercise is your
yeah.
big stress reliever. That and meditating. Alrighty. So last question. Kinda. So if you weren't a doctor, we want to know, Dr. Bhattacharya, what would you be?
Oh God. There are certain these like actually what would I want to be? I love being a doctor, like I wouldn't change that for anything in the world. But there are things that I do for fun too, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
a big foodie, like, and we love,
Oh.
yeah, I love to cook. And I don't even know, like if I wasn't a doctor, I might be like a restaurant owner, like,
Okay.
and cook, because health and wellness too, like eating, like
Mm-hmm.
like build a a restaurant where you can try different foods, and but it's healthy as well. I mean,
Love it.
because I don't know, because I'm a doctor, maybe that's why I think that way. But you know,
Or maybe you just realize that you can still have great food that are
yeah,
healthy. So
yeah,
I know who I am going to be visiting. When I go to Miami, I have a couple
yeah,
people to check off on the list. Dr. Bhattacharya, and I'm going to come hungry. So
yes,
do your
yes,
thing.
and
Wonderful chef extraordinaire and restaurateur, Dr. Bhattacharya. Alrighty. So with all of this, you're a wonderful pediatrician. You're opening up your practice, WonderKidz Pediatrics. You're talking and you're doing talks all over Miami area. Do you have any upcoming talks that you'd like for us to know about? You have a speech coming up?
yeah, yeah, not it's. Yeah, I am talking with the local chamber of commerce for diversity and inclusion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why is it important? Why representation matters? As
Mm-hmm.
a physician, I'm a physician, so that's a group that's for everybody. I am going to represent doctors and representation. I mean, why it's important. How my over the years, my experience as a physician, I have seen how people can identify with people,
Mm-hmm.
try to identify with you and see if you understand them. You do
Mm-hmm.
understand, with a lot of experience, you have understood different cultures, different ways of people, but
Mm-hmm.
why like people try to identify with you and why it's important. So that's an upcoming talk. I'm looking forward to it in January.
Wonderful, wonderful. And also,
Yeah,
where can we find you? Because a lot of people are like, okay, this one, I love the fact that she's having an integrative practice. Like, so I might want her to be my kid's pediatrician. So let them know, where can they find you?
oh, yeah, no, before I say that, I forgot I mentioned, I would like to, people watching this, I
Mm-hmm.
would also mention I have an upcoming, I did have a video, like I'm talking at with the local moms group. They have a
Mm-hmm.
big event right now going
Mm-hmm.
on for new moms. And so I'm talking as a guest speaker for taking care of newborn babies. So whoever's watching that, they should check it out. It's called the Bloom event for Broward Moms Collective. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one. And where can you find me? At my WonderKidz Pediatric Facebook page, which is
Mm-hmm.
growing with me. It's new. And Instagram, WonderKidz Pediatrics, at WonderKidz Pediatrics. So
Okay, and that's kids with a Z, guys.
it's
So for
me.
those
Yeah.
who like kids
Thanks.
with a Z, Wonder Kids Pediatrics. Wow. So as we said, we have a wonderful doctor who's opening up a wonderful practice, and she's going to be taking the wonderful care of your kids. And all of this is at Wonder Kids Pediatrics. And where will this be? You're opening up in the spring or actually it's winter of next year. So we
Yeah.
need you guys. If you want to be on her special VIP list, you need to let her know. So how can they get on your list?
So yeah, go to my email, my not email, my webpage
Mhm.
www.wonderkidspediatrics.com and sign up at the VIP list, and we'll keep you updated as we go. So,
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Alrighty, guys. So, for those of you guys who are listening, if you're in the Miami area, you're looking for a wonderful pediatrician who has a great integrated practice where she's going to be taking care of the kids and also helping with behavioral health and helping the family unit to come together as one, like she says, one step at a time, putting together a very healthy, happy family unit. We have Dr. Violina Bhattacharyya here for you at WonderKidz Pediatrics. So right now she is having her VIP list open. So just go to www.wonderkidspediatrics.com, sign up for her VIP list, right? So thank you all, and thank you to Dr. Violina Bhattacharya. So for those of you guys listening, yes, this is Dr. Tamar Beckford with Your Caring Docs, and we have our Your Caring Society that is open right now. And that's to help all our busy professional women put their health and wellness first for at least 2 hours a month. Wonderful information is available on our website. That's www.yourcaringdocs.com/society. That's URCARINGDOCS.com/society. So go to our website, check it out, let us know if you'd like to join our waiting list. Our program starts in January. And yes, it's a year-long program so that you can get your health and wellness together. We have wonderful, wonderful guest speakers available. We have the wonderful Dr. Alicia Shelley, the wonderful Dr. Janika Benoit. We have the absolutely wonderful Dr. Rachel Rubin, Dr. Catherine Toomer, on and on and on. So don't forget www.yourcaringdocs.com/society. And also, if you'd like to make a discovery call with me, you can jump on our Facebook page and we will have the link for you to set up a discovery call and see if you want to join the society. Yes. So thank you all for taking this time out for your lunch with us, learning all about our WonderKidz Pediatrics with our wonderful Dr. Violina Bhattacharya. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
bye.